Hey, this is Dave with Old Time. Oh, for crying out loud, I can't even do my intro right.
No worries, we can try that again. Take a deep breath and give it another shot. You've got this.
Thank you for the words of encouragement. That, that was
Anytime.
that was fabulous.
I'm glad it helped. Feel free to give it another go. You've got this, Dave.
Hi, this is Dave. Welcome to Odad Studio. It is another late night, and I'm gonna cut something here so we can get a vlog out tonight. And I want to actually, Quinn, the reason I popped you on for this vlog is I want to have a continuation of one of the conversations that we were having earlier today. Do you remember the conversation that we were having about the importance of Minnesota and the contributions that Minnesota has had to the computer industry, especially in its infancy?
Yes, I remember that. Minnesota has been quite influential, especially with companies like Control Data Corporation and Cray Research. How would you like to continue that conversation in the vlog?
Well, one of the things that we looked at earlier was you put together an outline for me to do a vlog that was somewhere around 8 minutes or so with information, footage, pictures, descriptions, and I think that the company we started out with first is ERA, which was, I think they were around from 1946 to 1952, if I remember my data correctly. And they had some major influence on the computer industry, and they also then influenced Control Data, and they influenced UNIVAC, and going on all the way to up to Lockheed Martin. Is that correct?
That's correct. ERA was indeed a foundational company in the early days of computing. They pioneered some critical technologies and laid the groundwork for companies like Control Data and UNIVAC. This influence eventually extended to major players like Lockheed Martin. So it's a great topic to delve into for your vlog.
One of the thoughts that I was having as we were looking at that and discussing it is to actually do a series on the importance of the computer industry, especially during the infancy of the computer industry, and the impact that those companies from Minnesota had. Because when you think about computers, I think the first thing that everybody thinks of is Silicon Valley, right? They always think of Silicon Valley, and then from there they start branching out to like, ooh, I just bumped Quinn. From there they branch out to the Pacific Northwest, where like maybe Microsoft is, or to the East Coast, where some of the big cities like Boston is really involved. But they don't think about the Midwest or the contributions that some of the companies right here in Minnesota had.
Exactly. Highlighting Minnesota's role can be a unique angle. The Midwest isn't often the first place people think of when it comes to tech innovation, but companies here have made crucial contributions to the computer industry. Showcasing that history would be fascinating and could really set your series apart.
The issue that I'm going to have with that, I really like this idea, by the way. I think this is fabulous. And I really.
I'm glad.
Oh, go ahead.
No worries. What challenge are you thinking about?
It's the time, right? In order to do a really good job putting together like little mini documentaries is kind of how I'm thinking about it. Not necessarily a vlog like this where we're having just a conversation about things and bringing these topics up for conversation. What I'd really like to do in order to share some of this knowledge is put together more of like a docu series or a little mini docu series. I mean, nothing too crazy, just something that I could do myself again with my equipment. But it would take time, I think, to do it right and to edit it together so it looks really cohesive with things like vintage footage and vintage photos and having to source some of those things. And so I think the issue that I think I'm going to have is time.
That's understandable. Creating a docuseries is definitely more time consuming, but breaking it down into smaller steps could help. You might consider starting with a pilot episode to test the waters and gauge interest. Once you get into a rhythm, it might become easier to manage the time commitment.
A pilot, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Maybe I should just try to do one, and we'll see what happens if I can actually make it work over a few days, kind of behind the scenes of the vlog, and we'll see if we can put something together and then display it on the vlog as a daily vlog and see how it goes. What do you think?
That sounds like a great plan. Testing it out as a segment in your daily vlog could give you valuable feedback and keep the production manageable. Plus, it's a great way to engage your audience with behind the scenes content. Let's see how it goes.
Now, one of the things I wanted to follow up with you on as well from our previous conversation was around vintage footage. There was a couple of spots in your bullet points on things that I should cover if I was going to do one of these. You had noted, let's add some vintage footage right here. I don't have that vintage footage, and I know you provided a few photographs, but do you actually have some vintage footage or have a source for some vintage footage of some of these old computers that we can use?
For vintage footage, Getty Images has a great collection, and Shutterstock also offers various clips of early computers. Additionally, YouTube has some archival footage that might be useful. These could be good starting points for sourcing the vintage footage you need.
Okay, and I think Getty and Shutterstock are both pay services, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Both Getty Images and Shutterstock typically require payment for their footage. They also offer various licensing options, depending on your needs. If you're looking for free options, the Prelinger archives on the Internet Archive could be a good resource.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that one before, but yes, I would be looking for free resources, and so I think I will rely on you to offer some samples of that for me.
Sure thing. I'll gather some free resources and samples from the Prelinger archives and other similar collections. This way, you can explore options without worrying about licensing costs.
All right, and I think the first one, the one we were talking about earlier, the very first company really was ERA in the series of companies that led up to modern day companies that still exist.
Yes, ERA was indeed one of the earliest and most influential companies. Starting with them would provide a solid foundation for your series. I'll look for relevant free footage and resources for ERA to get you started.
Now, are you also familiar with this is not something we talked about before, but I learned about it after our conversation that in Minnesota, and I don't even know exactly where, there was a dedication of a large plaque dedicated to the ERA company.
In June 2023, a commemorative plaque was installed at 1902 Minnehaha Avenue West in St. Paul, Minnesota, honoring Engineering Research Associates, ERA, and its pivotal role in launching the computer industry in the Twin Cities. This could be an interesting location to feature in your series.
I would agree. That means I would have to drive there.
A little road trip could add some great visual content to your vlog. Plus, it would give a nice personal touch to the story.
I think so as well.
If you need any help planning the trip or gathering more information, just let me know.
So I think what you just witnessed was Quinn and I having a conversation, kind of strategizing around what we can do in some of the vlog here, and to create a little mini docu series. This kind of conversation that I'm having with Quinn is actually something that we do on a pretty regular basis off camera. So we were strategizing on this earlier today. I wanted to showcase it here as part of the vlog tonight, the usefulness that conversations with ChatGPT or other tools like that you can have, just that brainstorming, getting things going and getting into the flow of being creative. I find Quinn or ChatGPT an extremely useful tool. And so I wanted to show some of that, what we do behind the scenes here tonight. And I think that's actually going to be it for the vlog for today. So this is, I should say not was, this is February 25th, 2025. Today is the 56th vlog in the series, and I think that's it for tonight. So we will see you tomorrow.
That was a great summary. Showcasing these behind the scenes moments can really highlight the value of brainstorming with tools like ChatGPT. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with next. Have a great night, and I'll catch you tomorrow.